Wilson has moulded his team into one that looks capable of making the playoffs. And his own form as player-manager has been a revelation, as this incisive pass sets up Andy Payton to score in their 3-0 victory on Saturday against Reading. In his first season as player-manager, Brian Robson has been able to take his team to the top of Division 1. And he's also made a big contribution to the turnaround of fortunes at Ayresome Park. But his injury problems continue. He's out tonight. The top of Division 1 shows the importance of tonight's game. Middlesbrough can go level with Tranmere if they win, while Barnsley can take advantage of their games in hand over almost all the other teams above them. So for a check on the teams, let's join our commentary team tonight, Chris McMenemy, but first, John Helme.
Middlesbrough field the most cosmopolitan strike force in the club's history, with Bolivian World Cup star Jaime Moreno chosen by Brian Robson to start the game, alongside another foreign player making an impact on Teesside. German Uwe Fuchs is doing his best to clinch a permanent move from Kaiserslautern, and 6 goals in 7 games looks good on his CV. He wears the number 9 shirt as Robson makes 3 changes from the team beaten at Bolton on Saturday. The former England captain has a calf strain and leaves himself out, while former Bradford and Leeds frontrunner John Hendry is relegated to the bench. Andy Payton had an unhappy 10-month spell here a few years ago, and he was having his disappointments at Barnsley until recently, but 4 goals in 3 games have lifted his spirits. Danny Wilson keeps faith with the side which won so impressively 3-0 at Reading at the weekend. The only changes on the substitutes bench, where Owen Archdeacon, who's suffered so many injuries this season, is there alongside 21-year-old Glenn Hurst. Well, a very special night for Viv Anderson. 12 months ago, he was the manager of Barnsley. He's since joined Brian Robson here at Ayresome Park, and his ideal season, he says, would be for Middlesbrough to win the championship and for Barnsley to go up in the playoffs. A cheerful chappie, our referee tonight, Paul Harrison from Oldham. He was the official in charge here on January the 2nd, when the pitch became rock hard during the course of the game, and he abandoned the game. It's Middlesbrough in red shirts and white shorts, and Barnsley in this dark green strip of theirs. And by the way, the news of Neil Redfern, who's only missing his 2nd game in 2.5 seasons for Barnsley. He's been playing on with a hamstring strain, but Danny Wilson says that he's probably going to be okay for the weekend. He could have risked him tonight, but thought it better to hold him back for the weekend. Well then, here is a chance for Barnsley straight away with this player Martin Bullock, who Danny Wilson told me is a very exciting player on the ball, and he showed a glimpse of that there. Very good position for Barnsley to have this free kick, 10 yards outside the Middlesbrough penalty area. Danny Wilson, Brendan O'Connell and Darren Sheridan all there. And Taggart's looking menacing alongside them. And Wilson might go for the blast through. Comes back to O'Connell, and it trickles through to Alan Miller, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper. Loses out here to Fuchs, and Uwe Fuchs, this German player, tries to tee up Alan Moore. Moreno's inside the penalty area. It's been a bright start to the game from both sides. Well, not quite getting the better of Nicky Edom, but at least he gets the cross in. Moreno now. And Pollock's shot just came back off the Barnsley man, but enterprising opening. This is Derek White. Moore again. Getting back well here is Andy Little. Danny Wilson. Well, he ran into his own man there. From Pollock. Oh, and a nice flick through. Uwe Fuchs is onside here. Could score. And it's beaten away at the 2nd attempt, and the German holds his head because he knows he should have given Middlesbrough the early lead.
He's going through. He's only got one thing in his mind, to hit the target. What a great save from David Watson in the goal. The defender in a good covering position. This is what he's good at. He's strong, he's reasonably quick, and he doesn't half hit the ball. With strong hands from the goalkeeper.
And I think there's going to be a substitution straight away for Barnsley, which is disappointing for them. I think it's Steve Davies who's gone off. So straight away, Owen Archdeacon is introduced in the first 10 minutes of the match. Taggart needlessly concedes possession, and here goes Moreno again. I get the feeling that Barnsley are living a little dangerously at the moment. It's been an enjoyable opening. Vickers. He's got Cox out on the right touchline. That's where it comes now. Eric White. Moreno's the player he's picked out. Moreno sensibly reverses it, and the cross, well, it was a troublesome one for Watson, but referee Harrison decides that Fuchs went in too vigorously on the goalkeeper.
The ball played very early into the box, had time maybe to look up, but just a good old-fashioned centre-forwards challenge, letting the goalkeeper know he's there, and he's really stamped his authority on the game, Fuchs, so far. And an interesting little balance between him and Moreno. Moreno is a different type of player, and he likes to drop off and play in the hole just behind the centre forward, so difficult to pick up. An interesting combination.
Yeah, it's really interesting that on the bench Middlesbrough tonight have John Hendry and Paul Wilkinson, who've been their strike force for the last 2 seasons, and a very successful strike force.
Well, we've been here so often and seen them do well, John, haven't we, the two of them, and shows how quickly football changes.
That's good challenging by Sheridan, closing Pearson down. And there's Sheridan again in the thick of things. Nice little ball from Danny Wilson. This is Bullock. He does run with purpose. And slips the ball across. Wilson didn't have much time to pull the trigger. Still gets a pass away for Liddell. Archdeacon. Barnsley knocking it around confidently. Both sides look more impressive going forward than they do defending at the moment. So Connell winning it twice. And Sheridan just fouled by Pollock. Very competitive player, Pollock, isn't he?
Very hard working and just starting to get the recognition I think he deserves. He's played at under 21 level for England and has done a sterling job here over the last few years since being a youth player at Middlesbrough.
Taggart. Payton's made a run ahead of him. Here he is, Andy Payton. Lovely turn from him as well, and gets a good shot in. That was a good try from there. Alan Miller's 6'2", and he was hoping to just nip it over the top of him.
You don't mind your forwards having a shot as long as they get it on target and make the goalkeeper make a save, which Payton has done again. Nice little ball into the corner of the box. Quick on the turn, just makes himself half a yard and tries to bend it probably in the far corner, not in the goalkeeper's hands.
The sort of thing Andy Payton wouldn't have been trying 6 or 7 weeks ago when goals were thin on the ground. There's Hignett, Fuchs, Moreno's inside the area, and Gary Fleming again. A calm defender, Fleming. He's Northern Ireland international, of long-standing, never panics. Archdeacon came down from Glasgow Celtic as a left winger to Barnsley, but has tended to drift further back to a left-side midfield player, and now he's at full-back.
Well, since Steve Davis has gone off the field, they've switched to a 3 centre-back situation with Archdeacon on the right, Fleming as the spare man, and Taggart picking up on the left. And they're trying to push Eden and Sheridan on as attacking full-backs.
Well, it's the system that Barnsley have employed very comfortably over the last few seasons. The players enjoy that system. Saturday they played a 5-man midfield at Reading and it worked a treat. 3-0.
I thought that was one of the results of the day down at Reading. They've been doing so well at Reading at home, and for Barnsley to score 3 and win was a tremendous result.
Moreno. On a bad ball in here for Robbie Mustoe, and it's come away for Craig Hignett, and again Watson beats it away. He's made 2 critical saves already, Dave Watson, in the Barnsley goal. There's going to be some more pressure coming here though. Alan Moore, oh this is dangerous, and Watson's performing absolute heroic for Barnsley in these opening minutes. Moore again now, winning the corner, but what about Watson's 3 stops?
Tremendous from Dave Watson. I mean, the fact that he stood up so long, made a big target and blocked, and a brave block as well. Great defensive play from the goalkeeper.
Those are just as important saves as the spectacular ones with the fingertips. And here's Fuchs, and Watson makes the catch. But that's a bit alarming, I would think, for Danny Wilson, that Fuchs found so much space in there.
I just wonder whether 1 or 2 don't really want to pick him up after the first 5-10 minutes of the game, where he's really put himself about, and he just drifted off the defenders there, had time to turn. Here we see the corner going in. He's got 3 or 4 yards spare. If he was coming onto that rather than running away from the goal, he'd have got a lot more power on it.
There's a bit of the old style centre forward about him, isn't there? He's a bit in the Mark Hateley class, if anything.
He's very English in his style. You wouldn't see many foreign forwards tackling and closing down fullbacks like that, sliding into tackles.
Well, I think that's why Tony Woodcock recommended him to his old pal Brian Robson, because he thought he would adapt to the English style very quickly. So it's proved. It's quite amazing, really, that it's still 0-0, because the game has been full of chances. And, certainly Dave Watson has kept Barnsley in it with 3 excellent stops. Because he's going to have to put this out. Barnsley have won away from home 4 times so far this season. They last won here in 1992 with a Neil Redfern goal. And now here's Payton bringing it down nicely again. He's looking very sprightly, as Andy Payton. And was there a foul? No, the referee says not. Great chance for Bullock here, and he gets into the area, and this time it's Barnsley who can't force it through. Well, there's been some amazing escapes at both ends. He's inches away from his first ever league goal.
The great battling from Sheridan. What lovely awareness here. Just tricks inside. Couldn't really get enough power on the shot, but there's, what, 3-4 Middlesbrough defenders to get the ball away. Good skill from Bullock.
Yeah, he's an exciting player, Martin Bullock. Here's Danny Wilson. He's been such a good player over many years. Taggart went in for it. Moore misses his header. And then fortunately picks up the rebound, and the space down the left now. And away goes Hignett. There's real pace about this match. And he might try and go all the way himself, Craig Hignett. It's beaten away. Well, it's the best 0-0 I've seen for a long time. There's almost a cup-tie atmosphere about the match.
Well, both sides are very positive, and it is a crucial game for both sides. Barnsley, with the result on Saturday, will have they think have a real chance of joining the bigger clubs at the top of the league. And Middlesbrough, after their recent defeat at Bolton, will want to really get back on winning ways and get up with Tranmere at the top of the league. So there's a lot at stake for both sides.
Yes, it's Brian Robson. Viv Anderson on his left, John Pickering on his right, and Mark Nile, the physio, who used to be at Barnsley. Great thumping header from Pearson. And his opposite number, Taggart, starts things off from the back. Barnsley do play the cultured style, and Moreno dispossesses Owen Archdeacon there. Pollock's the one calling for the ball. Barnsley are in trouble, and again Watson has to scramble the ball around for a corner. And that was dwelling on the ball by Archdeacon that should have been punished.
Yes, goalkeepers, the saying goes, should never get beat at the near post, and he was down very quickly to put it out for a corner. But Owen Archdeacon just getting caught on the ball, playing in an unfamiliar position, and gives away eventually a corner to Middlesbrough.
A needless one, I'm sure Danny Wilson will be thinking. That was dangerous. He's a real handful, isn't he?
There's a handful, and Jerry Taggart really got to get a hold of him. Mainly off set pieces. In general play, Jerry's just got the better of him. We see a whip ball in here, and again, you couldn't say a clear header, but a definite chance on goal.
Middlesbrough have already got possession back inside the Barnsley half, but it's rather frittered by Pollock. That's a long kick from Watson. Wilson a second time. Payton a little turn. He was looking for a free kick and he got it. He's an elusive player, Andy Payton. He had 10 months here, which didn't go well for him. He scored only 3 goals. Went off to Glasgow Celtic and then down to Barnsley. Sheridan's taken it quickly. Taggart's pulled away to the back post and it's put out by Pearson for a corner. And Middlesbrough will call to sleep.
Yes, and Barnsley just quickening the pace of the game. They've survived that initial onslaught from Middlesbrough in the first 5 or 10 minutes, and now they're just quietly going around stamping their authority on the game. But a lovely quick free kick that just caught Middlesbrough out.
I saw Reading win here a few weeks ago, and that's what they did. They weathered the early storm, and then the crowd got rather agitated. That's curling back in. Taggart comes to meet it. And he couldn't get the clear header he did at Reading at the weekend. And he won't go onto the O'Connell pass either. Here's Derek White, Scottish international, playing at left back these days. He's usually a centre back. They're stroking the ball around very nicely. Wilson eventually losing out to Pollock's tackle. And Moreno onto Cox. Ignat shattered immediately by Sheridan. They're just beginning to frustrate Middlesbrough a little. Look. Wilson, again he'll go for the ambitious pass, but it didn't quite come off for him, so this is Moore, and Moreno, and Moore, and here is genuine danger to the Barnsley net. Alan Moore, and again he can't beat Watson. The goalkeeper is having one of those nights. He just looks impregnable at the moment.
Yes, and let's hope it carries on. Alan Moore, one of the brightest talents in the game at this level, got through with his pace. Here we see it again. He's just poking it past people. The ball drops to him. He gets a bit of luck here through Jerry Taggart's legs, but he's on goal. Goalkeeper stands up and makes another good save.
Should have scored though, there's no doubt about that. Cross in from Eden, and here's a Brendan O'Connell, and although Miller has made a save, he would not have counted anyway, offside. Alan Moore definitely should have scored, shouldn't he?
Yes, I mean he had a chance a lot earlier than when he actually struck the shot to poke it in the side of the net, and didn't take his chance, and here we see at the other end, definitely offside. Jerry Payton at the near post. What a great save from Alan Miller there.
Didn't miss that one. He's such a powerful lad, the Northern Ireland international. Wilson. Everything seems to stand still there, and Wilson tries to tee one up here for Little. It's just bouncing away from Andy Little. It's a bit unfortunate. And now Mr. Harrison's going to produce the yellow card, I think, for Andy Little, who was just a little frustrated. Took it out on Neil Cox, and will get a yellow card. Well, there they are, the substitutes. Lee Butler, the goalkeeper in the middle, alongside Eric Winstanley. And there's a familiar face, Alan Smith on the bench, the former Sheffield Wednesday and England physiotherapist. Pearson decides to take control of the situation, and he's got to be positive, and Barnsley again close him down. Nigel Pearson's seen it all before, and he will feel that the tide is just beginning to turn against his side. They've got such a good record here. They're unbeaten in 5 before that defeat at Bolton last Saturday. They've lost here just 3 times this season. Tranmere Rovers won here, Southend of all teams won here, and so did Reading. Now the crowd encouraging Hignett, but Taggart's quick for a big man. 10 minutes left in the first half. Middlesbrough 0, Barnsley 0. And Barnsley will be well pleased with that, because the 3 meetings between these sides last season, one of them in the Anglo-Italian Cup, they were thrashed 3-0, 4-0 and 5-0. Middlesbrough were a real bogey side to Barnsley last season. And here's Bullock for Barnsley. Here's Hignett for Middlesbrough. And there's Taggart for Barnsley. Everybody giving the ball away at the moment. White checking before feeding Moreno. And on goes Moreno. Breaks for Pollock. Oh, lovely ball from Pollock to Moore here. And again there's danger. Folks, and this might be it from Moreno. It certainly is. His first league goal since coming from Bolivia, and he's got it against Barnsley.
And that just shows you the fine line. There's a great little run from Alan Moore. You can't see it on the picture there, but he loses the defender completely. Fires the ball across with a bit of viciousness and just drops nicely for Moreno. Very hard done by Barnsley, because they've most of the play in the last 15 minutes. But a lovely bit of skill originally from Alan Moore and a clinical finish from Moreno.
Referee Harrison has a look at the watch. We've certainly played 45 minutes. And I don't remember the physios being on the pitch at all in the first half. Steve Davis limped off early on, so we didn't have treatment. And half-time it is here then at Ayresome Park, and it's Middlesbrough who are leading by a goal to 0. Martin Bullock had a chance to score his first ever goal for Barnsley. Watson made some brilliant saves to keep Barnsley in the game in the early phases, but then Jaime Moreno did score his first goal in the English Football League. The Bolivian has got the only goal of the half. It's Middlesbrough 1 at Barnsley 0. Join us for the second half after the break. As the second half starts, Barnsley reflecting on the fact that they've got a 4-match unbeaten run going, and they don't want to lose it here at Ayresome Park against the side that crushed them 3 times last season and was ahead of them in the original game. It was quite funny on that day when the referee decided at half-time to call it off. Let's see what happens with Moore here. It's steered back to Watson. The referee called the game off at half-time. Brian Robson was furious with his team leading, and he said, "Have you asked Danny Wilson?" And just at that moment, Danny Wilson came into the room. He said, "What do you think, Danny?" And he said, "Call it off." They were behind. Very good decision, referee said. That's why we're all here tonight. It's a much better night than it was on that particular day, on January the 2nd. Freezing cold. Payton's header. And Liddell. Oh, that must be a penalty. Surely. Well, he's gone. He's 5-6 yards inside the penalty area, and Danny Wilson is pointing to say that that challenge was made inside the penalty area. Now, let's have a look at this.
My original thought was outside. And I think you just about see that's a couple of feet outside the box, but he did fall a long way inside the box.
Yeah, the replay proves it. That's why we have replays. Nigel Pearson can have no complaints about that. Yellow it is. Well, this is funny. Touch of deja vu here, because Barnsley had a free kick in the first minute of the first half in a similar situation. They didn't make that count. Will they make this one count? Another couple of feet and it would have been a penalty. Jacob might try and curl this one. Or Sheridan might. It is Sheridan. He doesn't get it through. And then Nicky Eden blasts it into the crowd. The free kicks haven't been very inspired.
No, you feel with people like Sheridan and Archdeacon around the ball and Danny Wilson that there's enough craft there to get a shot on the target, but not on that occasion.
Taggart had a steered back to Fuchs. And Barnsley have certainly made a positive start in this half, and Little goes on, and the referee thought he made a meal of that. Eden. Well, they've certainly come out very positively for this second half, Barnsley. Picked up by Fleming. Might find its way through to Andy Payton as well. Oh, the back heel didn't come off for him, but it did win a corner. Now, Taggart's always the man to watch in these situations. He powers in, he calls for the ball, and he won't get to this one. O'Connell will, and now Taggart. Oh, and that was net-bound. Taggart's shot thumped him with terrific force, struck the defender, and was then cleared off the line by Hignett.
Yes, he's claiming for a handball. Great connection onto the ball as it drops down here from O'Connell, swivels, gets his hip over the ball, and a couple of deflections and it's out for a corner.
Well, Robson will move, but he's really made a very good fist in his first season as a manager. And that's for better than being in position for winning automatic promotion, or at least a playoff spot. Fuchs on here. Watson, yes, he did the right thing in lofting it way downfield and out of play. Still only 21, Dave Watson. Sure, he'll figure in England plans in the future, some level. Moore might latch onto this one. There's a problem here for the Barnsley defence. If the cross is gone, and it's spooned over the top by Hignett from no more than 5 yards.
Yes, and the new rules coming into play. Barnsley waiting for an offside flag, didn't come, but this is a top quality ball, played in with pace, accuracy, and just was begging to be put in the net.
The goalkeeper's nightmare, that, wasn't it? I mean, he was never going to get to Alan Moore's cross, and Hignett lunging at it, scooped it over. But it's that sort of incident that encourages you to say that Barnsley is still very much in this at 1-0 down. And coming forward now with Bullock. Slips it through. He's onside, is Little. Payton's in the middle. Here comes Bullock, weaving his way through for a shot. And here's the header, and an equaliser as well. And it's in from Andy Payton. Well, they're delighted, and Andy Payton keeps his run going. It's his 10th of the season. And his 5th in 4 matches.
And the important man is Martin Bullock, playing in that central position. He's starting to hurt Middlesbrough now. Gets a bit of luck on the deflection. Beautifully placed header away from the goalkeeper, back the way it came. And no more than Barnsley deserved. Martin Bullock picked it up before this shot, but there again, committing defenders, takes a chance with a shot, loops over the top. He's going to pop it in that far corner. Great finish.
Moreno, the header should be snapped up by Taggart for Barnsley. And Payton goes, Little course for and gets the ball. And they've 2 men up the middle. What a move! It's a lovely flowing move. Oh, it's a shame though. O'Connell's been given offside, but Barnsley really passing the ball around to great effect.
Yes, it doesn't matter the style of football you play. The attitude and commitment they're showing in the second half means that they are first to the ball, and they're breaking with pace. They're breaking with accuracy.
Bullock just occurred to me, Chris, is we've hardly seen Fuchs in this half, and in the first 20 minutes he was running the show. And
also the fact that the amount of work Dave Watson got through in the first half, as opposed to Alan Miller, the roles have been reversed now, and Middlesbrough's goalkeeper, Alan Miller's having a lot more work to do than Dave Watson.
Watson might have something to do here. Wilson clips it away, and Archdeacon heads it away. Middlesbrough free kick, 35 yards out maybe. I wonder if Middlesbrough might choose to bring on John Henry or Paul Wilkinson maybe in this last 25 minutes. Hignett can hit the target from here. I've seen him do it. He's choosing to clip it up. Here comes Fox, and Watson gathers the header again.
Well, they got in between two defenders here, Taggart and Archdeacon. I would expect Jerry Taggart to pick it up and really mark it more tightly than this. You see, he gets in between the two. Jerry Taggart's way beyond the far post there.
Yeah, and in fact, I think we've read that one right, Chris, because John Henry is going to come on, but it's Hignett who's going to go off. Does that surprise you?
Well, slightly, because Hignett's playing in a wide position, and he's probably one of the players that can provide a bit of service for Fuchs in the air. Now we're looking at what's happening here. Henry will come probably into a central position. Heime's looking to go towards the right wing, but they need better service up to the front now.
Yeah, well, John Henry played on Saturday at Bolton, but they reckon they brought him back just a little too soon after a layoff. We'll see if he can make an impact here tonight. Oh, and there's a bad injury here, and it's...
Well, I'm amazed at this, because I don't think Jerry Taggart touched Fuchs in the face there. I think there was a possible connection with a leg, or maybe it's a little elbow, but I don't think he touched him in the face. And he goes down, Polak's too. We might see on the replay, there's a bit of argy-bargy, but there's, well, I mean, as he's turned around, he might just have caught him with a finger, but nothing like the way Fuchs went down. And that's possibly a little bit of the foreign flavour creeping into the game again. No malicious intent, I don't think, from Jerry Taggart, just a situation of being caught in the face by a finger.
Let's have a look from a different angle. Fuchs is the tall number 9 there. That's where he might just
possibly.
From that angle, it looks a bit worse.
It looks a bit clearer, doesn't it? He's a big lad, he'll be all right.
To be fair, Chris, we've got to say there has been some contact, hasn't there? I mean, they wouldn't have, but he's shown. Oh well.
You see, that my first reaction was possibly in agreement with the referee. I thought he made a hell of a lot of the challenge, and the referee has possibly thought he should have got on with the game, and the injury wasn't as bad as it has been made out to be.
Mr. Harrison, I think a lot of referees don't do that, and I think the crowd would like them to do, actually, where they feel that somebody's overacted. I think Wilkinson is going to come on, actually. I think that's might be the last we see of Uwe Fuchs for the evening. It is Paul Wilkinson. Rumours about a possible £500,000 transfer for Wilkinson to Portsmouth about at the moment. Barnsley will be quite happy to keep the ball at this end of the field. He's generally played very well. Especially that little man Bullock there. Now Sheridan, and he's found a good ball for Wilson, who can make advancement here. Helped out by Archdeacon. Wilson just trying to nick that one through for Payton. Middlesbrough, the break could well be on here. They're 2 up against 1, and again Fleming showing his ability to be in the right place at the right time. He really does read the game superbly well. Doesn't get many headlines, Fleming. Now he'll be defending against Hendry. Hendry switching it from right to left. And, well, again, it was Fleming who did his job in just holding off him that time. Sheridan. This looks dangerous. Middlesbrough got 5 through here. Hendry, and well played Watson, who breasted the ball down. There's no problem there with that for Watson. For once gave it away, but Moreno looks to be running out of steam a little to me. think you just find the pace of the English game quite intense.
Yes, and he's not had too many starts, as you said before. He's not really used to the 90 minutes hustle-bustle of this level of football over here. And they've made him play in a right-sided position.
Free kick for Middlesbrough. In a good position, and Watson's missed it. So did Wilkinson, fortunately for Barnsley. That's the first blemish on Watson's night.
That's right, and there was a very well-weighted ball. It struck it well in the air for a long, long time. We see it here on the replay. Made his mind up early to come. Nowhere near it.
Right break for O'Connell for Barnsley, and then Sheridan's ball to Bullock. Barnsley just getting hold of the game again, and getting hold of the ball here. And Wilson will pick it up. A sensible pass. Bullock. He really has worked very hard tonight. And Taggart's going to let fly, and it goes over the top. He doesn't hang about with those, does he?
If that one had gone in, we could all go home, couldn't we? 45 yards out, I think that was, but lovely bit of movement in the corner there from Barnsley. Eventually comes off to Jerry, and here he goes. He's got one thing in his mind, it's a crack. Not too far away, was it?
Oh, just put some meat in him. There he is, not quite getting to the header, and it enables Pollock to drive the ball in for Moreno, and Moreno is close to a second goal. Did Watson get a touch? He didn't. The crowd at the back are astonished. Well, I must admit, I thought the goalkeeper touched that one.
I thought Dave Watson made a good save here. Just got his pace again, got his second win, Helme in. Good strike across the goalkeeper. Looked like he got a touch, but you can't really see from that angle. But when you think he's getting tired, he's just produced a little change of pace there that warns Barnsley they can't relax on that side of the pitch.
I saw him play for Bolivia in the World Cup in Chicago against Germany. And he was on the same field as Klinsmann, of course, that night. And he's certainly got some ability. And here come Middlesbrough again with another chance. The ball in towards Wilkinson. He might still turn on it. Here's Moreno. And Moreno, for the second time in a minute, slashes the shot across the face of goal.
Yes, and Henry and Wilkinson combining just to set the chance up for Helme there. He struck it well, but it was a lot wider than the previous shot. Here's Henry into Wilkinson. A little bit of fortune there for Middlesbrough. Lays it off nicely in a strike, but well wide of the target.
The game's just come back to life. It's had its dull faces in the second half. But, signs here that Barnsley are going to give it a go as well, with Payton challenging Vickers. Oh, and a lovely bring down by Andy Payton. He might go for glory here, charge down. So Pollock chips one up to Moreno. Too far. It's a sign of how well Barnsley have done, really, that the likes of Pollock and Moore have been very quiet in the second half, because they can terrorise defences. Barnsley still have one substitute left, Glyn Hurst. Danny Wilson feels that someone's tiring. Sheridan into Wilson, and he'll let fly. Well worth a go. Don't get many here nowadays. He's just got the one goal, in fact, for Barnsley since he left Sheffield Wednesday. Needs another 6 for a career century.
A good little square ball from Sheridan. Doesn't sit quite nicely for Danny, but still gets a shot out.
Well, the crowd has stayed. Not drifting away from this one yet. They suspect that there might still be 3 points there for the taking. That was a decent interception by Archdeacon. And Vickers again. You see Barnsley working so hard. They've never stopped running all night. That was almost like the Gordon Cowans one on Saturday at Palace, and he was allowed to get away with it. O'Connell wasn't.
I think if you ask Robbie Mustoe and Pollock in midfield, this is one of the hardest games they've probably had here this season. Brendan O'Connell's worked his socks off alongside Danny in there.
Wilkinson was looking for it. Here comes Pollock. Oh, it was taken away from him. Henry's in here and blasts it over. They would have been very unlucky, Barnsley, there to
they're very lucky. And I thought Henry was offside when the ball finally came to him. The original chance, there was a lot of space for the man to come on and have a shot. We'll see here on the edge of the box as the ball drops down. He's in a lot of space here. There's a shot coming, but Alan Moore takes it off his toes and tries to find Marina. Now, when it drops to Henry there, I thought he was originally offside, but Barnsley have got away with it.
Yeah, Pollock was in a great shooting position, wasn't he, when Moore took it off his toe end. Moore again. They want to do something more positive this time, and he is doing something positive. A mazy run from the Irishman, but it came off a Barnsley boot, that, but no way was it a back pass. So Watson held on. Moreno. Well in by Sheridan. They continue to work hard to Danny Wilson's side. And it's Wilkinson. It's Hendry. Good blast from John Hendry. Good stop again. He's got his angle right, the Barnsley goalkeeper. That was important.
Yes, typical Wilkinson-Hendry link-up. Little knockdown for Henry. Strikes it so well in those positions. Didn't really cope with a high ball here, Barnsley, very well. Wilkinson gets up, uses his height, drops down to Henry, takes it on the volley. A good positioning and a nice simple save for Watson.
Moore. One last chance for Middlesbrough to nick the point. Here comes Moreno, and Watson has made another stop, and that sums up the goalkeeper's night. The Bolivian down on his haunches. Could have been a hero.
And the one man you possibly wouldn't expect to attack the ball in the air in that sort of situation. He's shown at times that he's adapted to the English game. A good deep cross, and he gets up very well here, Moreno, and heads it down. But again, good positioning by Dave Watson.
Yeah, it's a good point, that. You're looking to Wilkinson, really, aren't you? But Moreno, he's a good competitor. Well, Brian Robson wouldn't have him if he wasn't, would he? But Barnsley have got a very good point here at Ayresome Park. They trailed after 36 minutes to the first English goal of Jaime Moreno's career, and they had to thank Dave Watson for some splendid saves. And then in the second half, Andy Payton, who completed a century of goals at the weekend at Reading, got the 101st goal of his career, and it's been good enough to earn Barnsley a well-deserved point. Middlesbrough 1, Barnsley 1.
I've got the old Barnsley partnership here, Danny Wilson, Viv Anderson, and I suppose you're the happier man tonight?
Most definitely, yeah. I mean, if you look at the highlights, you'll see we could have been 3 or 4 down in the first half. Game's over and done with by then. We rode our luck very much, a lot really, but I thought the goalkeeper was absolutely excellent. David Watson was magnificent tonight, and he's kept us in the game, and fortunate for us, we've hit back in second half, but much better in the second half, and come away with a result, possibly against a runner player, really.
I mean, do you think you would have won it with those chances in the first half, Viv?
We had chances, but you've got to put them in at the end of the day. As Danny said, the keeper did very, very well. But we were poor second half, I thought. Although we had a rally last 10 minutes, I thought our overall play in the second half was poor. And the managers just said that to the players. But first off, we had a few chances. You've got to put them in, especially at home. But it wasn't to be.
Because you've got to win your home matches now in the running, haven't you?
That's right, but I wouldn't say that. I mean, we're capable of going away from home and winning games, which we've proved. We won 6 already, so I think there's a long way to go yet.
How does Barnsley look to you now that you've left?
Very good. They've got a decent manager, you see. That's what it is.
Yeah. You coached them well.
No, he's coached them well. I was just sitting. But in fairness, he's done really, really well. I'm pleased for him.
Yeah. Good result for you tonight, then.
Without a doubt, Ian, yeah. I mean, obviously, for Viv and I, it's nice to share the spoils at the end of the day because I think the friendship goes back a long time, But obviously, I know, yeah. But obviously, I'm a lot happier tonight. Yeah.
Do you think you'll be in the shake-up at the end, both of you?
Let's hope so. I saw Viv's quotes in the programme before, like them champions in a second. I agree with that to a certain extent, but we'll swap it around a bit.
Well, good luck to you both.
Thank you.